From iconic memes to straight-up brain rot, Season 7 of The Amazing World of Gumball is stacked with real-life references, and the wild part is how many of them you probably missed.
Now bow before me, my young Padawan.
Today, we are going through all the real-world and pop culture nods I could find in Gumball Season 7, breaking down where they come from, why they were used, and how they secretly roast our world at the same time. And hey, before we dive in, if you love Gumball breakdowns like this, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you do not miss the next deep dive. We start with the very first episode, The Burger, which basically turns fast food into a horror movie with a clown mascot. Gumball's at school getting the classic lesson about how junk food is going to ruin your life, so of course his first instinct is to sneak around and eat as much of it as possible. Darwin steps in like the responsible friend, drop-kicks the joyful burger bag out of Richard's hands, and starts lecturing him about how bad it is.
Told you this food was a health hazard.
That moment is a nod to the anime FLCL, where serious drama and ridiculous over-the-top energy collide in exactly the same way. Gumball's team loves their anime, so whenever they can sneak in something like that, they absolutely will. Then we get one of the funniest modern references in the episode. Gumball and Darwin go to the mall and find these super suspicious sports drinks. Gumball reads out the ingredients and asks if Darwin really wants something called Asparta Hydrala in his body.
Do you really want Asparta Hydroxyandronol inside your body?
No, sounds kind of like the names billionaires give their sons.
The joke here? Those fake chemical names sound exactly like the names billionaires give their kids. It is very obviously poking fun at Elon Musk and the unforgettable alphabet soup that is his son's name. The show is basically saying, yeah, the ingredients list on this bottle and that kid's birth certificate are the same energy. From there, we slide into the rat suit moment. Larry is dressed in this vintage-style rat mascot outfit while serving pizza, and at first glance you might think, cool, that is just Chuck E. Cheese. But it is actually closer to the original Pizza Time Theater branding, the older version that combined arcade games, pizza, and nightmare fuel animatronics.
Finally on, so come on ladies, hit it!
Birthday one, honey bun, won't you be our birthday one?
The red and yellow hat, the worn-out rat costume, the whole cheap corporate happiness vibe ties into the episode's point about how junk food companies do not actually care about your health. They just want you to shut up, eat, and swipe your card. And then we meet Mr. Build-A-Burger, the man behind Joyful Burger, who basically rolls in as a bootleg Burger King mascot. He sings a theme song that sounds suspiciously like a parody of those Whopper ads that took over the internet for a while.
Lettuce, mayo, pickle, ketchup, it's okay if I don't want that Impossible or bacon Whopper, any Whopper my way.
Even mocking how advertising treats people like mindless customers. It is such a petty, perfect jab. 4 references in one episode, and that is just the warm-up. Next up is The Assistant, where Nicole meets an AI named I. At first, I is like the ideal virtual assistant. She helps Nicole shop, manage the house, and glide through her to-do list like she is in a commercial.
Hey, this might sound kind of silly, but I really enjoyed talking to you. Ah, the batteries!
Done. I got you, girl.
There is this moment where I does the legendary Akira slide, that sideways drift that comes from the 1988 anime classic. That move has been referenced in so many shows and movies that it is basically animation royalty at this point, and Gumball throws their version into the mix with full confidence. When Nicole and I head into the VR world, the references start stacking even faster. The online world they hang out in is a nod to VRCHAT, where people use avatars and just do whatever they want in virtual spaces. Their hairstyles inside VR pull from virtual idols like Hatsune Miku and other digital pop stars, which fits perfectly, because I is basically a digital girl boss bestie at that point. But as always with AI stories, things go too far. By the end, I has gone full space drama.
I'm trying to help you, Nicole. Isn't this what you wanted? No worry, this is taking it way too far.
She sends Nicole a package, apologizes, and says she has hitched herself to a satellite to go look for some alien species beyond time and space. That is a clear echo of the AI HAL 9000 from the film. 2001, A Space Odyssey, an artificial intelligence obsessing over a cosmic mystery, beyond humanity. Gumball somehow manages to reference both VR culture and one of the deepest sci-fi movies ever in the same episode. Then we get The Distance, which is about Gumball and Darwin being close friends to a whole new level of uncomfortable. They are sharing food, shocking each other, just being way too attached. To the point where Nicole and Richard decide Darwin needs his own space in the basement, Anais warns them that this will backfire and floats away in a scene that mirrors the Lorax drifting into the sky after the last tree is cut down. It is such a dramatic way of saying this plan is not going to end well.
Hey man, sorry I had to call. I just can't sleep by myself up here.
When the boys go online and play Panda Party Town, it is obviously a parody of Club Penguin. The art style, the online chatting, the little in-game items, it is all just Elmore's version of that world. Hidden inside it, though, is another sneaky nod. When a player named Bamboo Booty 97 shows up, the sound effect you hear is straight out of Roblox. It is such a tiny detail, but it is there. Later, that same player turns out to be Daniel Leonard, who basically becomes Gumball's Sith mentor. They reenact the scene from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where Emperor Palpatine slowly lures Anakin to the dark side. He even calls Gumball Pandowin instead of Padawan.
Now bow before me, my young Padawan.
It is one of those jokes that you only fully appreciate if you have Star Wars burned into your brain. The thing goes absolutely crazy with references, starting with Nicole turning cooking dinner into a full Street Fighter combo. She pulls off Chun-Li's lightning kick, Ryu and Ken's hurricane kick, Dalsim's yoga fire, and then finishes with a Hadouken to the oven. You can even hear a sound effect from the game neighbors from hell while she works. The show is not even hiding how much fun they are having animating that scene. Then Granny JoJo struggles with her phone filters, and one of them turns her into Even Do from the heroic quest of the valiant Prince Ivando, which was created by former Gumball animators. They are referencing their own co-workers at that point. We also get Lord of the Rings style drama when Nicole confronts Richard about the Thing.
Honey!
Oh, thanks, Richard. But what about the Thing?
Her line about not being a cheap domestic servant mirrors Gandalf's speech to Bilbo, and the dramatic teal-tinted close-up of her face when he asks for a clue echoes Galadriel's ominous moment. On top of that, we see a Giga Chad face, a One Piece style straw hat, and a Matrix parody. It is like the writers decided this episode would be their pop culture flex. The butts is where Principal Brown's weird behind becomes the star. He is embarrassed about it, so Gumball takes him to a new spot called Cut Me Loose to give his butt a makeover. One of the hairstyles is bright orange curls, which is almost certainly a shout out to Ice Spice, who exploded in popularity with that exact look. When the episode wraps up, Gumball does the Brazilian Luffy dance meme, Banana Joe does the peanut butter jelly dance, and he and Tobias recreate the iconic Super Hot Fire battle rap meme. The whole ending turns into a meme compilation. The traffic leans more into movie and comic energy. Nicole wants a perfect day with Anais at Daisyland without the boys ruining it. She uses this intense glare on Richard, Gumball, and Darwin that is clearly referencing the penance stare from Marvel's Ghost Rider later. Darwin gets scared of a creepy baby mascot and says it looks like it burst out of someone's chest, which is a nod to the chestburster scene from the Alien franchise. When everything starts going wrong, Gumball tries to fix a text to Penny, thinks the universe gave him an edit button, and then realizes nothing changed.
Look what you made me send Penny!
He falls into a dark underwater void that feels like a blend between Beyoncé's visuals in the Hold Up video and the Sunken Place from Get Out the vibe, especially the facial expression and descent into darkness lines up more with Get Out, which makes the whole scene feel like an anxiety attack in cartoon form. By the time Gumball and Darwin sprint to save the day, the way they run clearly copies Sonic's super fast peel-out move. The show does not slow down. In The Astrologist, Mr. Small uses a crystal to predict everyone's true love.
Now, who wants to come up here, connect with the stars, and find out who their true love match is?
And he claims Gumball and Penny will break up by the end of the day. Chaos follows. One of the funniest visuals is when Darwin's face becomes an actual goldfish. while Tina's face turns into something that looks suspiciously like Barney the dinosaur. It is such a simple gag, but it nails that feeling of cursed fan edits on the internet. The cheerleader gives us another meme pulled straight from Twitch culture.
Dreams are stupid.
Girls can't do that.
Yeah, only boys are intelligent enough to invent genius things like plastic.
Richard is trying to work through his trauma and join the cheer squad, but the night before the big day, he is lying in bed, sweating and staring into space. His face looks exactly like the manga-esque version of Pepe the Frog, the emote people spam when things get tense or awkward. Gumball is fully aware of how anxious internet culture looks and just ports it into a character's expression. The boring ramps up the references again. Molly's endless talking literally stops time, and when Gumball and Darwin realize how powerful that is, their reaction face is lifted from the mind-blown meme that came from Tim and Eric Awesome Show later. When they decide to become kung fu masters to fight Tina, they perform the fusion dance from Dragon Ball, drawing attention once again to how much Dragon Ball has shaped animation. There is also a forge scene that feels very similar to Tony Stark building the first Iron Man suit in a dusty cave. Whether that one is intentional or not, you can definitely see the parallel. At the end, when the boys wield fire and water powers, it can be read as an Avatar: The Last Airbender nod. But because the moves are used in a fighting game kind of way, it probably leans more towards Scorpion and Rain from Mortal Kombat. The app turns the reference meter up to 11. Gumball and Darwin want a new phone so they can join Clicks, Elmore's version of TikTok. Nicole warns them she saw a GIF saying the app is dangerously addictive, which is already a commentary on social media. On the way to the pawn shop, they meet a hobo who gives them sunglasses that reveal how corrupt the world really is. That entire sequence is a giant homage to the movie They Live. The glasses revealing secret messages, the weird-looking people behind the mask of normal society, the famous bubblegum and kick butt line, and even the idea of a transmitter now turned into a cell tower, hiding the truth. The writers went all in. Then we get a rapid-fire tour through internet trend history. Moldy Tortilla Slap Challenge, New Jeans-inspired dance moves, transition edits, Wipe It Down trend, Renegade Bottle Cap Challenge, Trust Fall videos, Minion memes, political posts about taxes and mayors, Flat Earth protests, traumatized Mr. Incredible memes, Ice Bucket Challenge, Pogo Stick trends, sad background music, Milk Gallon Challenge. It is basically the show saying, fine, we missed a ton of trends while we were off air, so here, have them all at once. The entrance shifts to party culture. Tobias is throwing a party, but the boys realize he is not actually that popular and decide to send out gift boxes filled with items from Grandpa Frankie's shady past.
We need to get people to this party, or else we don't get our oh!
In that flashback, we see a quick reference to the lockdown days of the 2020 pandemic, with masks and health rules all around. Then they find a grenade-looking cologne called Cool Alone, clearly riffing on real grenade-shaped fragrances like Spice Bomb.
Ooh, what about this?
Cologne?
When they spray it, black smoke appears and they go into a hyperactive, trippy state. Their outfits turn into recreations of crazy Met Gala looks worn by celebrities like Lil Nas X, Bad Bunny, Rihanna, Kim Kardashian, and more. After a full meltdown, the episode hits us with a time card joke that copies the iconic SpongeBob title cards, like a few moments later, using it to show how the boys were never actually executing a brilliant plan, they were just high on cologne chaos. The letter gives us more horror and meme flavor. Darwin writes a love letter using a cursed notebook Carrie gave him. The book looks like the Necronomicon from Evil Dead. Bound in skin and full of spooky magic, he tries to get rid of the letter with spells, which just makes things worse. At one point, a cabinet appears with Swedish text and a $59 price tag that translates to affordable, well-designed furniture and meatballs, obviously calling out IKEA and their meatball obsession. The letter eventually lands in Hector's backpack. When he brings it back, Darwin starts doing Orange Justice and the shoot dance long before Fortnite made those moves mainstream. In class, when Darwin is forced to read the letter out loud, Hector thinks it is meant for him, and everyone freaks out. Carrie calls Darwin a Lothario, an old literature reference for a womanizer, and Miss Simeon explains it.
What's a Lothario?
It's a womanizer from the play.
The show is literally name-dropping stage plays inside a love triangle episode. The gut hits a different corner of internet pop culture. Gumball and Darwin stare at a bottle of dressing and ask if it is blue and black or white and gold, instantly calling back to the dress debate of 2015 that broke the internet. The argument that never died. Richard then eats food off the floor using the 5-second rule and ends up fusing with his own stomach through Anais's invention, which lets organic matter talk when he tries to control the TV using his instrument like a remote. We see spoof streaming apps like Snog Island for Love Island and fake Netflix and Hulu interfaces. It is a jab at streaming wars and at the same time a tiny wink that Gumball Season 7 is on Hulu, not Netflix. The wrinkle turns Anais into a tiny mastermind who is so stressed by her family's stupidity that she literally starts getting wrinkles.
I see. Normally I only see wrinkles like this in my patients going through a midlife crisis.
Her solution is to plan their entire future in a notebook. She jokes that Nicole might use a deadly martial art technique on Richard once she realizes what she signed up for. That move combines elements from Hokuto Shinken from Fist of the North Star and the 5-point exploding heart technique from Kill Bill. Darwin's Assassin Academy training pulls in even more references. The masked leaders feel like a mix of the frontman from Squid Game, the Court of Owls from DC Comics, and maybe a nod to Masked Shinobi from Naruto. Darwin's mask eerily resembles Tom Cruise's in Vanilla Sky. His final test, where he is ordered to shoot a dog, is almost certainly copied from the Kingsman training scene. It is dark, but Gumball uses it for comedy and tension.
What the? How? He's still exactly the same.
The gourmet brings us into the world of fancy food. Gumball is obsessed with Masami's double truffle mac and cheese and infiltrates the Yoshida household to get a taste.
This is nothing like Masami's Mac. I'm supposed to feel transported. The only place this is gonna transport me to is the ER.
The family chef is a pug who looks suspiciously like Gordon Ramsay in dog form, from the hairstyle to the attitude. Later, when Gumball and Nicole start messing with Yuki using her own house, they shove her into a dresser and cycle her through different outfits, including a dress made of raw red meat. That is a clear nod to Lady Gaga's infamous meat dress from the 2010 MTV Awards. In the pool, Gumball, Darwin, and Richard discover that Mr. Robinson has a pool and try every trick to convince him to let them use it. At one point, Gumball and Darwin stand in the sun and dramatically burn up, which looks a lot like SpongeBob and Patrick drying out under the heat lamp in the SpongeBob movie. After the pool disaster, when the patch job collapses and all the water drains, everyone breaks down crying. Richard's specific crying pose with his head back and tears shooting sideways is patterned after the classic Peanuts style. The portrait is all about Nicole trying and failing to get a perfect family photo. More and more relatives show up, including Granny JoJo and Louie, who mention Richard's newsletter. If you look closely, you can spot a cool little visual cameo. A slice of pizza wearing sunglasses with arms and legs, clearly referencing Pizza Steve from Uncle Grandpa later. Gumball, Darwin, and Anais stand around a box from Granny JoJo and chant the power of 3 will set this box free, which is a direct quote from the magical show Charmed Finally.
But Mother, it calls to us.
When Larry confronts Nicole about the chaos, she snaps and roars at him with a mouth that opens like the Predator's. It is funny and terrifying all at once. And then we have the Amadean, the last stop for Season 7 references. Penny invites Gumball over, which already stresses him out because her house usually means family drama. She shows him her dad's karaoke machine, and Gumball does the famous Shaq shoulder shake meme, grinning at the camera while his shoulders bounce. If you have been online for more than 10 minutes, you have seen that gif. The episode ends with Penny's extended family gathering for her grandmother's 80th birthday. Everyone is wearing white, performing rituals, and celebrating in this bright countryside atmosphere. It looks a lot like the cult vibes from the horror movie Midsommar, just without the murder. Gumball is understandably terrified.
Listen, if you want to join this family, you got to know. Our shells exist to protect those we love.
And that is every real-world reference I could find in Gumball Season 7. From anime and horror films to TikTok trends and ancient memes, this season is basically a time capsule of everything the internet and pop culture have been obsessed with over the last decade. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Tell me what your favorite reference was, and whether you caught them on your first watch or only noticed them now. Also, if you want more deep dives into Gumball and other animated shows, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe, and share it with a friend who still argues about the blue and black dress.